Thank you for joining me for today's and this week's Tuesday Tip at 2. It is me, Danielle J. Mitchell, your upcoming queen of real estate. And listen, we're going to talk about a subject today. I wanted to kind of, again, you know that I try to go off of what's happening currently, what's going on in the market currently, and particularly with myself. Okay. I like to draw from actual real life experience. So that's pretty much what we're going to go into today. So I just want to throw a couple scenarios out there. The title of this is what is the title of this? Sometimes deals fall through. Okay, so we're talking about the uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty of real estate. Okay, on some of the things that can happen. Of course, I do a lot of marketing, advertising. That is my zhuzh. That's my thing. I'm very heavy into it, right? So, I, try to make sure that I put that, put myself out there and market and all that good stuff, right? But there are times where stuff falls through and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just absolutely nothing you can do about it. So, I want to go through a couple scenarios. So one that happened in particular. Now, typically, listen, typically, we're gonna close, right? I'm going to get you to closing, right? Whether you're a seller, whether you're a buyer, the goal is to get you to the finish line, right? And I've definitely had deals where it was like very touch and go, whether it was because of mortgage company issues, whether it was because of appraisal issues, whether it was because of inspection issues. I've definitely had some very touch and go, like hope we get to closing day. I don't know, or or times where closing day was moved 82 times, right? So I've definitely had some touch and go transactions where it's like, I have no idea if we're going to closing and hopefully this pans out. And they have, right? But there is that percentage where it's just like, you know what? You win some, you lose some, but you'll live. You live to fight another day. Now, what's that movie? I'm not going to say what movie it is, but I want somebody to tell me in the comments what movie that is. You might get a free home inspection if you can give me the name of the movie that is from. Of course, you have to be my client to get the free home inspection. But anyway, all that to say, I want to go over a scenario that happened recently. I had a buyer, and I'm going to go through two of them, depending on time's sake. I might part two this, right? So, one particular scenario I had, this was a buyer, and she had came to me through a referral of another client that I got to the finish line, who had a touch and go transaction herself, but we were able to get it done, thankfully. So she was referred to me, and for me to help her and stuff like that. So of course, do my usual, see what the scenario is, and be like, let's get it done, let's go. So we were looking, great client, not no shade, but not not picky, but just somebody who was just looking to find a house. They weren't hard to please or anything like that. They're just like, listen, I'm just trying to get a house. She came to me already having gone through the process, right? And then COVID hit. She was under contract, lost out on her the money she paid for inspection, and stuff like that. And circumstances change for her financially, where she, couldn't move forward, right? So some months later, she's like, I'm ready to go back at it, ready to do it again. I think I'm in a better position, but this one lender said, no, I'm not, but I just want to see. So I was like, no problem. I like to have lenders around me. Just like in the business, you'll run into real estate professionals who aren't familiar with first time home buyers, don't know programs, don't know really some particulars and what it takes to get somebody who seemingly, right, who doesn't have a 700 score, right, who doesn't have, $40,000 saved, right. There are some professionals who just don't work with those who have anything less than that, because they just don't know, right? That's not their niche. I definitely feel as though I'm very good with helping first time buyers. I'm very much aware of different programs and try to keep up to date with a lot of programs that are out there to help people who might otherwise feel like I don't have a chance to buy a home, right? All that to say, I like to have other professionals, lenders, and things of that nature around me who have that same kind of niche, who have programs available to help people, who can, make things happen when others say no, right? So all that to say, I sent her to a lender, all that good stuff. They were confident. All right, we can make this work. Let's go. Let's proceed forward. Got pre-approved. Went house shopping. All that good stuff. We went house shopping. We got under contract. Right. It was a great scenario. We're kind of, like I've said before, we're in a seller's market, but we're kind of more so leveling out. Right. But at that time we were, in the height of it. So very competitive. We had put in several offers for other places. And then, we had, gotten this house that had been on the market, for a little bit of time. So, they were great. The seller was great. The, listing agent was great. And we just went in and, put an offer for it. Did inspections. Inspection went well. They were willing to complete all the inspections and stuff like that. Appraisal went well, was willing to complete all that. Now, you're saying to yourself, what went wrong? What went wrong was, the lending company was kind of very delayed and, getting some things to me. So, I like to see, manage my transactions. And so, hey, what's going on? We need this, at this stage of the game, we need this going on, and I need this document, and, how's it going? And again, it was a touch and go situation as far as, getting her to the finish line. Not everybody's going to have the perfect, on paper, qualifications, right? Doesn't mean that they can't get help or get a house at that moment, but it just means you have to be a bit more attentive with their process and their paperwork. All that to say, as I've talked about before, we were looking for what's called the CTC, or the clear to close. That is something where underwriting, or the gatekeepers, as I call them, the nameless, faceless people, they kick back her loan, right? Saying, something was wrong as far as hours were concerned, all that other stuff. So long to the short, we tried always, tried to give updated paperwork, all that good stuff. Long to the short, the way things panned out, they could not get the loan clear to close. Okay. So, at that time now I got to go back to the sellers and I got to say, hey guys, we're trying to get this thing closed. Now, by this time, we done moved the closing date, all that good stuff. I'm like, okay, we got to move the closing date, but we should be good to go, because that's what I'm being told, right? But long to the short, it just cannot happen. Okay. So again, selling agent was very gracious, very good. They were like, listen, all right, so I have a lender I can send to you. I was, pulling other lenders to see if we can make it happen. The selling agent sent another lender to me. Hey, if this person can't make it happen, nobody can. Okay, no problem. I like those kinds of people. Resourceful people. And long to the short, they couldn't make it happen, at least not right then for that transaction, right? They were able to make it happen like 2 weeks from then or a month from then, but to make it happen for the sake of that transaction, it wasn't going to happen. And we did not go to closing on the house, right? It was a hurt piece. And especially for my client, because, and listen, when I tell you she took it like a champ, she took it like a champ. Right? She would get frustrated and everything. Some people would have snapped out. Some people would have just, cried or punched something or whatever. But she took it like a champ. She just took the information. I said, we know that, it's not like she could never be qualified, but hey, let's give it another couple weeks, another couple months or whatever. Long to the short, she took it upon herself to say, you know what, let's just wait till, this time frame where I know for sure that I won't be denied by underwriting, in the process. And so, which was fantastic. I said, okay, absolutely no problem. We'll go ahead and, hit the ground running then, right? Because sometimes it's worth waiting, right? Sometimes it's worth waiting. For me as a real estate professional, sometimes I hear about people's financial scenarios. And yes, in my head, from what I know in doing this work, doing this business, it may be like, no, you're not ready to get pre-approved. I know that you're not going to be able to get pre-approved. Other times it's like, I'm not exactly sure. So that's why I rely on, people who, the professionals in that particular lane, right? So that's why I rely on mortgage professionals to be like, listen, I'm not exactly sure, but just check with them. If they say, no, or give you a time frame or whatever, they'll be able to tell you for sure. And sometimes, as parents would say, your eyes are bigger than your stomach, right? That's how it works. And sometimes us, and some people wanting to help, lenders wanting to help people or, stuff like that, we can get a bit ambitious and everything. I didn't know that it couldn't pan out, but sometimes it happens. So all that to say is sometimes you don't always make it to closing. Now, for the sake of time and having content to give y'all, I'm gonna save my next story for next week and give you another one. But yes, that's just all I wanted to share today. Sometimes, listen, with doing real estate, you literally are continually talking with people. As a real estate professional, as a real estate agent, I'm always talking to people. I'm always having conversations. I'm always, trying to help people and everything like that. That's one of the reasons why you just always have people in your pipeline, to help continue to make this a profession for myself, because stuff just happens. Stuff happens. That's why you work with multiple people. You're doing multiple deals, because you never know when something just happened that you didn't, perceive to happen. And all that to say is, everything's a learning experience, even the struggle ones. And the great thing is that I know that in a couple of months, if that, me and that client will be getting to the finish line on another property. Maybe that same property. I don't know. I don't know if it's available, but at least on another property. So, yes, that is all. That's it for today's and this week's Tuesday tip at 2. Sometimes it can definitely be a struggle bus. Okay. And sometimes those fall through. That's not the goal. That's not what we want, but sometimes it certainly does happen. So listen, if this is helping you, if this may help somebody that you care about, please go to like, subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff. If you would like to book a consultation, you can go to book.djmrealtyco.com. You can go to, again, book.djrealtyco.com to schedule your buyer or seller consultation, and we can get you started right away. Remember, there's no place like home. There's no place like home buying. And I'll be sure to talk with you soon next week. Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye.